This is Mr. Masonette, and we have a word problem that we have to read so we can determine what strategy to use in order to solve this problem. The problem reads that bus route A arrives at its stop every 15 minutes. Bus route B arrives at its stop across the street every 40 minutes. If both buses are currently arriving at their stops, how many hours will pass before both buses arrive at the same time? Now, when I was reading this problem, I noticed that I seen the word every twice. And if you see the word every in a word problem, that indicates that it is some sort of multiple problem. For example, if a bus arrives at a stop every 15 minutes, that means it's going to arrive 15 minutes later, and then 15 plus another 15, which is 30 minutes later, and then 45 minutes, and so on. So the keyword every would indicate a multiple problem. And we want to see the very next time that both buses arrive at the same time. And the word same means common in math. So every would indicate multiples and same would indicate common. And we want to specifically look for the least common multiple. So right now, bus A and bus B are at the bus stop at the same time across the street from each other. So both buses are leaving at the same time, and we have to figure out how many more minutes later that both buses will be at the bus stop at the same time. Actually, the question reads how many hours will pass, not how many minutes. But notice in the problem, they give us minutes, and the question asks for hours. So we have to keep that in mind when figuring out the answer. So starting with bus route A. So bus route A is going to arrive 15 minutes later. And after that, it would be 30 minutes later. Plus another 15 minutes would be 45 minutes. And then 60 minutes, which is exactly 1 hour. Plus another 15 minutes would be 75. Another 15 minutes would be 90. Plus another 15 is 105 minutes. And another 15 minutes would be a total of 120. Now let's take a look at bus route B. Now bus route B does not run as often as bus route A. Bus route B arrives every 40 minutes. So another bus would come along 40 minutes later, and then 80 minutes later, and then 120 minutes later. And at this point, I'm going to stop because we have a common multiple in both lists, and that is our first common multiple. Now, a lot of people are hasty to just circle that common multiple and think that that is their answer. But in this case, it would not be the answer. Although both buses would arrive at the same bus stop 120 minutes later, the question is specifically asking how many hours will pass. Because we know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, we have to take 120 minutes and divide it by 60 minutes. And of course, 60 fits into 120 twice. So we would say that both buses would arrive at the same time 2 hours later.